I haven't really covered Christopher Cantwell's Iron Man series in quite some time on the channel. I just kind of dropped out. I was tired of the Tony Stark personal life torture porn, kind of making the character be basically a pathetic loser. You know, Patsy Walker's bossing him around, making him look like he's nothing. You know, he's got his morphine addiction going on and whatever. I had to leave. I liked the first issue, but after that, it just kind of fell off. But this is no ordinary issue. This is Iron Man number 20. We're promised through the promotion, and all the promotion of this comic book has said that Tony Stark is popping the question to Patsy Walker, a.k.a. Hellcat, who I personally believe has been a terrible partner for Tony. He's kind of really stripped him down. Obviously, that was by design from Christopher Cantwell. A lot of character deconstruction. You got to break the character down before you build him up. Of course, we've been breaking him down for almost 2 years now. And you figured, hey, maybe this is what it's all been building to. Maybe we'll get to finally get something that makes Tony Stark look cool. Unfortunately, that's not really the case here. We'll get right into the proposal itself. You know, that's the big main event. That's what the covers tell us that we should be coming in here for. And that's what all the promotion was about and what made this comic book special and why I'm covering it here today. Tony Stark has been in rehab, and Patsy Walker comes to pick him up, and he wants to give her this letter. He's been writing this letter while he was in rehab. Obviously, I think we can all see where this is going. We get a terrible 9-panel grid where there's nothing really going on, but a little bit of change within her facial construction to show you that she's having emotions and getting annoyed as she's reading the letter, which is obviously a proposal. And Tony Stark, being the ladies' man, the billionaire playboy, Mr. Rico Suave himself, what do you say, Walker? You want to? I'm sorry I don't have a ring. It felt tacky. Well, actually, it's kind of tacky not to have a ring. This is the kind of proposal I think my mom probably got when one of her boyfriends went and had a little stint in rehab. Not very romantic, not very Tony Stark-like, but this entire series really has been the desecration of the ashes of whatever is left of Tony Stark since Christopher Cantwell has got on the series. We do get a little conversation after this, and I personally don't think that Christopher Cantwell is very good at dialogue. Here's a good example. Tony, I know it's a lot, but Patsy, I got this real clarity right now. I just got out of rehab, baby. And I had a lot of time to think while I was up there. You anchor me in ways no one ever has. Patsy, I really love you. Tony, I love you. I always will. Uh-oh. Always will, like because we're married, or like always will even after I've moved on? Tony, the last time I got married, it was to the son of Satan. I know, baby. That was really rough. And I died. Right, terrible. And I was trapped in hell with demons, and I'm sorry. Bad times all around. Like, does this sound like Tony Stark? No, it does not. It does not sound like Tony Stark at all. It's just, what a terrible voice for this character. Perhaps like the second or third most well-known superhero in the Marvel franchise, and this is the kind of dialogue we're getting out of Christopher Cantwell. This, what you're asking, it means everything to me. It does. But I need time to think about it, okay? Yes, he understands, of course. And we get some story before we see this Patsy Walker walking down the street thinking about the proposal from Tony Stark. And this is inner monologue like I've never seen before. I believe it's supposed to be Patsy Walker's inner monologue, but it certainly does not read like that. Come on. This is Tony Stark we're talking about. He's not a demon. Patsy, get over it. Right. But he did become a cosmic entity and kill 7 of his friends. Well, 6, including Dr. Doom. But he did bring them back to life and apologize. That counts for something, right? More importantly, do you really love him? Or do you just love trying to fix him because he's broken? Christopher Cantwell is focused in on breaking Tony Stark, and that has been what the previous 19 issues were all about. So this is all by design, so Patsy Walker can put the character back together and be the real hero of the story. No, he doesn't need fixing. He needs, and he loves me. But what do I need? And we finally get to the big moment at the end. She hands the letter back to Tony. I do love you, even more than I thought I did, but I can't right now. I'm sorry. Patsy, baby, don't walk away. And of course she walks away because he's an enormous loser. And of course, Tony Stark has always been a loser in Christopher Cantwell's Iron Man series. So that was the big payoff. They promoted and marketed this comic book on the big proposal. I imagine most people thought, hey, Tony Stark has been brought down to his lowest. Christopher Cantwell literally pissed on his ashes. Maybe it's time to give the character a wit. You are not going to get that in this comic book. I imagine a lot of people are disappointed, although the fans that really like the series, And I'm not one of them. I have to point that out. The fans that really like this series and have enjoyed the Tony Stark personal life torture porn probably enjoyed the outcome here because it feels true to life to what Christopher Cantwell has been doing with the characters. So I guess it's expected. I mean, I assumed that they were going to get engaged, but when you really think about it and what the character's been through and just what a pathetic loser he is in the series, it kind of makes sense that you would tell him, no, he's a loser. Why would you want to marry him? I don't care if he's a billionaire. He's a billionaire that's, he murdered 7 people. He lets Patsy Walker boss him around like he's a nobody. Of course she would say no to him because he's pathetic. So that's essentially what happens with the big proposal. But there's more to the story. You're not going to believe this when I show you. I'm going to show it to you here in a second. The opening page of this. And I'm going to say this right now. Christopher Cantwell should be paying Chuck Dixon money to give him lessons on actually how to write a compelling action-based comic book story. This is the opening page, and it's Tony getting into a car. How exciting is that, right? He comes out of rehab and gets into her car, and that's the opening page. No action scene to show how Tony was in turmoil and he had to turn to morphine and really show you the mental anguish that he's going through before you come into this boring ass scene. This is the way they open the comic book. And it was nice that Christopher Cantwell decided to establish that Patsy Walker is more of a man than Tony Stark. How are my space friends? Disbanded for now. No Korvac, no Iron God to contend with. So we turned the group into a fantasy baseball league. It's me, Rhodey, Jim Hammond, Halcyon, Gargoyle, and Frogman are co-managing. We even got Ben Reilly and Misty Knight in on it. I invited the Silver Surfer, but he rarely has internet. Isn't Ben Reilly a villain right now? Why the hell would you invite Ben Reilly Chasm into your fantasy baseball league? Maybe Patsy Walker didn't get the memo, but Tony's about to get an eye-opener. He's got a call. She asks, is it important? He says, I'll call him back. Who's the league leader? Rhodey and Jim play for keeps. But I am. And of course, they go to a sports bar, and she's way more into sports than Tony because Tony is a pathetic loser, whereas we're all supposed to relate to Patsy Walker because she's the hero of the story. Even the guys are supposed to identify with Patsy Walker. You don't want to be a loser like Tony Stark. You want to be a real man, a man's man like Patsy Walker who wouldn't need a loser like Tony Stark. You want to be Patsy. It's just one of the weird things they've been doing in the story. I understand character deconstruction. I understand bringing a character to his lowest so you can build him back up. Hey, Frank Miller has done that a lot, and I think he does it, better than anybody. He's great at that stuff. But Christopher Cantwell, Tom King, and others, they forgot that you have to build the character back up. He can't just be a pathetic loser over and over and over for 2 years straight. And that's pretty much what has happened in this series. There's a couple other things I wanted to mention. There is a story here, I guess. In between all of this happening and Patsy Walker declining Tony's proposal, we see Chet the gorilla. Apparently, he's been enhanced. He's very smart. He's got a high IQ, and he's playing a hologram in chess for a big publicity stunt, I guess. And Chet gets upset. He feels like the hologram maybe has cheated, so he cheats himself. He gets kicked out of the chess game. Oh, my goodness, what exciting stuff. And he goes on a rampage. He gets very upset. And in the meantime, somehow, he turns the systems off in Tony Stark's Iron Man suit, and the only system that's working in Tony's Iron Man suit are his rollerblades. That is the big climactic story, and we get Chet the gorilla on a scooter chasing him down while Patsy Walker thinks about what an enormous loser Tony is and all the reasons that she would never marry his loser ass. I do like goofiness in comic books, but this just didn't quite do it for me. There's another image I wanted to bring up here. I don't really know who the artist is all that well. It's not Kafu anymore. Obviously, they've moved on. But there's this image in that scene I was talking about earlier where they're in the sports bar and they're supposed to be getting chicken wings. And we see Patsy Walker eating here. Is it me or does it look like she's eating a finger? That doesn't look like a chicken wing at all. That's clearly somebody's digit. Why is she deep frying and tossing people's fingers in hot sauce? I don't know. I think that one was a fail on the artist, but who are we kidding? He is not the reason that this isn't a very good comic book. I certainly don't recommend it, and I won't be coming in for the ride any longer. I thought perhaps maybe something would happen here, and maybe Christopher Cantwell would change his fortunes on this Iron Man series, but it's just not for me. It's not very good. It's been bad essentially since issue number 2, and it's been bad for 18 issues straight, getting into here to issue number 20. I do think they didn't quite deliver on the promotion. It's all about Tony Stark popping the question to Patsy Walker, and I guess that did happen, so you can't say it's a bait and switch. but I imagine most people assumed she was going to say yes or something like that, not outright refuse him and make him look like a more pathetic loser than he already did. But that's the game plan with Christopher Can't Write Well, the Marvel Comics editorial staff. Tony Stark is no one's hero. He's not someone to look up to, and I think that's a huge problem right now in the Marvel Comics universe. If you want to see a better Tony Stark, you probably get one in Avengers, although I stopped reading that one. But Jason Aaron's Avengers sucks, but his Tony Stark was better than Christopher Can't Write Well's. I just think that's a problem. I don't know why the guy's still on the series. They reboot everything anyway. It's not like the sales are good on this. Tony Stark deserves a better fate. Speaking of that, this thing has been awful really since the beginning. If you don't know what I'm talking about, maybe this is the first time you heard me talk about Christopher Can't Write Well in Iron Man. I want to go back in the Wayback Machine. We'll talk about some of the real issues he's had with Iron Man, really making Tony Stark look like a complete, pathetic loser. It's been going on for a while, and it's only getting worse.